Hello, this is Kelly from Mockaroon. Today I'm going to show you how to add a sky overlay. Sometimes you have a great picture and it's just missing that beautiful sky background. I have a picture open here in Photoshop that I want my sky replaced. And I have my sky image that I've downloaded from Mockaroon.com. I'm going to come over to my layer panel here. If you don't have your layer panel open, you can come up to Window and check this layers here. So I have my layer panel open. I'm going to take my background layer here of my sky and drag it over to my other file that's opened. So when I drag it over, it appears on top of my background image, which is what I want. And I'm going to go up to Edit, Free Transform, or I can do Control T. And when I do that, it gives me this transform box. And I'm going to come over to the corner and I get this double arrow and I'm going to hold down Shift. And as I drag down, it's going to shrink down my image. So I want to get my sky where I want it. And then I'm just going to go Apply. Let me move this down. You notice that the background of my original image is pretty blurry. So if it wasn't blurry, I would leave it as is, but I'm going to come in here to my sky and give it a little blur to match. So I'm going to go up to Filter, come down to Blur, and I'm going to use Gaussian blur. And then I'm just going to adjust the slider to the amount of blur that I feel matches my background. 9 point. Once I do that, I'm going to drag my sky into place where I want it. I'm going to come over here in my layer panel again to where it says normal and use this drop down, which is the layer blending modes. And I'm going to come down to multiply. Once I've selected multiply, I'm going to come down to the bottom of my layer panel and select this icon right here, which is your mask. As you notice, it adds a mask to your layer. After I've added my mask, I'm going to come over and grab the gradient tool from the tool panel. Make sure when you use your gradient tool that up at the top bar here, you want this to be white to black. And then you're going to come down in your tool panel and make sure that white, see how you can toggle these, the white needs to be on top. And you're going to take your gradient tool about the center of your image and just drag down. Now I'm going to come over and adjust this a little bit. Move this sky up a little bit just so I can see that sun. Come over back to my layer panel just to adjust it a little bit and have my mask selected. I'm going to come over to my tool panel again and select my paintbrush tool. Once I have my paintbrush tool selected, I want to come up to opacity and turn it to about, let's do 10%. So it's really light. And then I can come over here and adjust my brush size and how hard or soft it is. I want my brush really soft, so I'm going to leave it. Another trick is if you want to enlarge your brush, you can click the right bracket key. If I want to shrink it back down, I can click the left bracket key on my keyboard. So I'm going to put it about there. If I want to add some of my sky back in, I'm going to paint with white. If I want to remove or mask, I want to paint with black. So I want to move my black to the foreground over here in my tool panel, and I'm going to paint just lightly over my image, anywhere I feel like I have a little bit too much. You always want to go back in, and actually I'm going to change the opacity to a little bit higher percentage, maybe 60, and then paint over my subject here. I just don't want her to get covered up by the background. Oh, it looks like I got a little line down here. I'm going to come erase this. You can hear me typing. I have 100% opacity when I just want something completely gone. And that's it. I can save out as a high-res JPEG, and I'm ready to go to print. From all of us at Mockaroon, we hope you enjoyed this tutorial.